Welcome back to Maths Academy. On this channel, you can learn a variety of stuff in the simplest and easiest way. Maths is fun. Today, we'll be multiplying and dividing fractions. When multiplying fractions, there are 3 steps or 3 rules you can follow. First, multiply the numerators. Second, you multiply the denominator. And finally, you simplify the equation if possible. Let's put these 3 steps into motion. Three over 10 times 1 over 5. 3 times 1 is equal to 3 and 10 times 5 is equal to 50. This fraction cannot be simplified any further. 3 over 4 times 5 over 4. 3 times 4 is equal to 12 and 4 times 5 is equal to 20. This can be simplified because 4 can go into 12 and 4 can go into 20. 4 into 12 goes 3 times and 4 into 20 goes 5 times. Therefore, it can be simplified to 3 over 5. 2 over 3 times 1 over 2. The first rule is to multiply the numerators. Therefore, 2 times 1 is equal to 2. The second rule is to multiply the denominators. Therefore, 3 times 2 is equal to 6. The third step is to simplify. 2 can go into 2 1 time and 2 can go into 6 3 times. Therefore, this fraction can be simplified to 1 over 3. 1 over 2 times 5 over 7. 1 times 5 is equal to 5 and 2 times 7 is equal to 14. This fraction cannot be simplified any further. 7 over 20 times 2 over 4. 7 times 2 is equal to 14 and 20 times 4 is equal to 60. This can be simplified because 2 into 14 goes 7 times and 2 into 60 goes 30 times. So your answer is 7 over 30. 1 over 3 times 4 over 11. 1 times 4 is equal to 4 and 3 times 11 is equal to 33. This cannot be simplified any further. We will now be dividing fractions. There are 5 steps that you should take when dividing fractions. The first one is to reciprocate the second fraction. Say for example, you have 1 over 2. When you reciprocate 1 over 2, it will now become 2 over 1. The next step is to change the division sign to a multiplication sign. Then you multiply the top numbers. Next, multiply the bottom numbers and finally simplify the fraction if possible. Let's put those steps into motion. 3 over 4 divided by 2 over 8. So the first step when dividing fraction is to reciprocate the second fraction. The second step is to change the division sign to a multiplication sign. Therefore, 2 over 8 will then be equal to 8 over 2. The division sign will now be turned to a multiplication sign. You can now write over the fraction to 3 over 4 times 8 over 2. 3 times 8 is equal to 24 and 4 times 2 is equal to 8. This can be simplified because 8 can go into 24 3 times and 8 into itself 1. 3 over 1 is the same thing as 3. 4 over 7 divided by 2 over 3 reciprocate this second fraction. Therefore, 2 over 3 will then be 3 over 2. The next step is to change the division sign to a multiplication sign. Then you rewrite the fractions. Therefore, 4 times 3 is equal to 12 and 7 times 2 is equal to 14. 12 over 14 can be simplified because 2 into 12 goes 6 times and 2 into 14 goes 7 times. Therefore, 6 over 7 is your final answer. 3 over 8 divided by 1 over 2. First step is to reciprocate the second fraction. 1 over 2 will then be 2 over 1. Next step is to change the division sign to a multiplication sign. Then you write the fraction. 3 times 2 is equal to 6 and 8 times 1 is equal to 8. 6 over 8 can be simplified to as 3 over 4. This is the end of multiplying and dividing fraction. If this video was helpful, please subscribe, turn on that bell notification to be notified whenever I post a video, and please leave a thumbs up.